I'm Eric Haugen. Check the description box below for tabs and backing tracks on my website, information about exactly what sound tools I'm using today, and all the links. Okay, say you picked up a cool lick, like something like this. Let's really spend some time to talk about absorbing it and working on it in such a way that you can maybe recall it in other avenues of your playing. So the first thing, once you've learned a lick, is you want to determine what part of the bar it lives in. Does it start on beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4, or somewhere like that? And I'll tell you right now, I made this one easy. I was like, it starts right on beat 1. So let's look at it here. It's an E blues lick that I actually ripped off of, it's in Red House, sort of. It's from that one, but I simplified it to make it more playable for us mortals. So let's look at that. Let's first learn it. Here's E minor pentatonic. Again, I'll share the charts in a second. That's already interesting because I'm introducing a non-kind of standard scale tone there, that second fret tone. We'll talk about that more in a second. That's like the cool lick, right? That's a neat thing that we picked up and we're like, okay, the lick starts right on the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. Now, the next thing you would want to do when you're like, wow, I learned this cool lick. I got it, which that takes some time to just get it. My little advice about that, don't go after the craziest crazy Jimmy Page licks. Go after the ones that land a little more normal. It's one of the biggest mistakes we do as guitar players. We go after just the... We just go after the speediest things. Go after the things you can grab first. Okay. Now, the next question you would ask yourself is, what chord is going on in the song while this lick is going on? Because obviously that gives you that second layer, the context for it. And again, I made this one easy. It's real obvious. It's over an E chord, but that's helpful. You're like, okay, there's the lick. It goes with that chord. Cool. And then the third question is, what scale is it from? Mostly blues, this one, but again, it's not always the case. Sometimes they're from minor, sometimes they're from pentatonic major, etc., etc. You kind of have to do a little bit of forensic musicology to kind of figure that out. And then the next thing you would want to do, and this is the extra layer, is what intervals are actually going on, like as related to that chord. So, we're against an E for this, and that means, let's see, yeah, we'd have to sit around and be like, okay, E, that's the tonic, that's the flat 7, back to the tonic. What is that interval related to? That tone there. It's the 9th of that chord. Oh, and there's a little grace note passage through the flat 5, down to the 4, flat 3rd, and down. And yeah, I would actually write it down. I would write it down and be like, okay, so the lick is this. The lick is tonic, flat 7, tonic, 9, tonic, flat 7, 5, 4, flat 3, tonic again. Because that's going to enable you to then do the next thing, move it to other locations. And that is the world I live in. That is the caged world. Again, I have courses with Truefire on it. I'm going to be talking more about this stuff on my live stream for patrons at the $8 a month and up level. That gets you access to not only this live stream, but every live stream I've ever done. Support me on Patreon if you can for as little as $2 a month. But anyway, here's the... get out of the way, guitar. All right, again, here's my caged versions of E7. I throw these charts up on Patreon for free. The tabs are on my website. Again, there's all the structures of an E7 that I possibly have. Okay, neat. So I know I can do it here. Then the question we ask ourselves is, can I do this series of intervals and scale tones against this chord here? Let's find out together. So there's that E7 form. That's not, I got E7 right now, just makes me think of Jane's Addiction. Detour. All right, here's the E7. And then, similarly, it's like, okay, where's the minor pentatonic, aka blues scale, that goes with that dude? That's the way caged works. When you really just stick with the caged world, everything filters back into these shapes. So there's the minor pentatonic that goes with that E7 shape. There it is. So layers. Layers, Jerry, layers. And yeah, so your homeboy would sit around going, let's see. There's the lick now on this chord. And then you know what Eric would also say would be to then sit around doing groove and then fill practice where I'd do one bar. Here it comes. Because doing that makes it much more likely that I will be able to recall this lick later on. Because if you just focus so hard on the lick that you heard in the solo from the thing, it's kind of all you can ever do is put that lick in that context. So you have to force yourself to put it in new contexts, in new locations. It's like, I've said this before, a lot of practice is about thinking about imaginary scenarios that you might find yourself in and preparing yourself for them. Let's go up to the next version of E7, this one here. This 7th fret C-shaped E7, which is totally kick-ass. That's the is totally Born on the Bayou. All right, now let's also look at the next layer there. Where is the minor pentatonic for that? And yeah, so this is interesting because this is bluesy. You notice I'm using minor pentatonic on top of a dominant 7th chord because that's blues. That's what they do. It's a fun thing to do. There it is. There's your C-shaped E minor pentatonic up there. Looks foreign, doesn't it? Looks a little bit weird. Which box is that? I don't know. I don't call them boxes. That makes no sense to me. So again, there's the chord. Here's the scale. So again, I'd have to sit around and be like, there's my E, there's my tonic. Again. And can't you feel yourself getting better at guitar by doing this? That like you're really thinking about it. You're really thinking about chords and intervals and scales. It's just so much about, again, for me, I don't know what it's like for you, but for me, so much about the study of music and the magic that is music is actually pretty forensic. I remember in high school taking one of those what career you should have assessments, and they said I should be a crime scene analyst. But that's gross. The guitar's not gross. Well, it can be. All right, so here we go. All right, there's my tonic now. There it is. tonic, flat 7, tonic, 9, flat 7 to the 5. And again, could have stretched out there to get that flat 5 passage, but hey, why not just bend it? Again, I'll tab all this out because it's so fun. And the extra little wrinkle I'll just include with this, because some of that opening solo there is not only minor pentatonic or blues, kind of crossing over, extra layer, because again, everything just stacks in layers, Jerry, layers. That's a Seinfeld reference. I love Seinfeld. Look at me, of course I do. Mixolydian. There's Mixolydian notes going on too, which is, that's also Jimi Hendrix Red House is one of the greatest examples of blues crossing over with Mixolydian. So yeah, same spot. Let's look at the Mixolydian scale right there with this dude. Because I know that, near the end of the solo, I kind of crossed into Mixolydian, which, again, you're allowed to do. Let's see. I don't think there's any Mixolydian licks here. Oh, that's Mixolydian. What was that? That was Mixolydian flat 6. No, that's not this 5. Well, I'm not going to worry about it because the Mixolydian stuff actually happens the next pitch. Well, all right, no. Again, Mixolydian. Major scale with a flat 7. Now, in that opening solo, there's, I don't think, any Mixolydian licks there, but I don't know, maybe let's just do a little exercise, groove and fill, Mixolydian. Always a good thing to do. So that is why I don't know very many guitar solos. I maybe keep a dozen, maybe a dozen. I keep on deck, Santana Black Magic Woman, Sultans of Swing. It's just some of the great classic rock ones I kind of keep on deck because within each one of those solos, there's usually, if not one, several really interesting licks that merit this kind of investigation. And doing this kind of investigation, remember, analysis is like the flip side of creation. Like when you spend that much time really poking around stuff, it puts you in that mindset of the person who made the thing, and then it's much more likely that that is going to make you make cool stuff happen. That's the idea. I think I got it across. I never know. I hope that's helpful for you. Thanks so much to everybody who supports me in all the ways that you do, be it like, subscribe, and share. That really helps with the algorithm relevancy, which generates website traffic. On my website, you can book one-on-one appointments with me to talk about guitar or have someone help you out, push you along with your musical life goals. I sincerely like to do that. Like, I'm the world's biggest creativity cheerleader. I'm like, do cool stuff, man. You can also support me on Patreon for as little as $2 a month, and there's all sorts of things that come along with that. And I also make courses in partnership with the folks at Truefire.com. You can find those on my website. And I think I have a new one coming out soon, all about playing to changes in my chilled out way. As Bill and Ted would say, be excellent to each other. That includes yourself. Happy Friday. Eat pizza. Shalom.